Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Todd Foley, the Chief Digital and Information Security Officer at Lydonia. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Melissa Mitchell, Chief Privacy Officer at Phreesia. Melissa, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Great. Melissa, I know that Phreesia's approach is very different from what we see out in the wild and far beyond sort of the single point of engagement where somebody has to click on a 20-page privacy disclosure or EULA, or companies have bolted on some sort of opt-out option unique for California residents. It sounds like with your platform, you're engaging people in a direct way and enabling them to understand more about how they're engaging and how they're using their information. As you look at this whole space, as you look at the scope of privacy and patient and client engagement, I know you're active also in a number of national initiatives, including the network advertising initiative. How do you see things changing over the next few years? Where do you think this is moving to?
And the nature of being in healthcare is that HIPAA applies to a lot of the different entities that are involved in this space. So while we've been doing that, while we've been compliant with HIPAA for this entire journey of ours, that has also allowed us to think about the foundation of HIPAA, and that brings me back to that North Star of why do we have HIPAA in place in the first place, and then why do we have these emerging state laws? And I think while they're all different and sometimes very different, they all are tied back to the common thread of, do people really understand what is happening with their data? Is it being safeguarded appropriately? And are they being given a choice when, in these circumstances where we believe that choice should be allowed and required? So I think that while it can look like a journey that's gone all over the place and up and down, I still see it sort of on this trajectory of just trying to get closer to what people expect out of with regard to choice around their data, and also to just harness the incredible power that data has, right? So some people really want to do that and want to say, I want my data to be used in X way. And some people don't. So for example, for my own personal life is, I really love to travel, and I'm one of those people that, not everybody likes this, but I like to plan my whole itinerary before I go, and everything's planned out. And to do that, I do a lot of research. So I'm reading reviews, and I'm on travel websites, and I'm signing up for things, and I'm checking the boxes of saying, yes, you can use my data to track what I'm doing, and then maybe offer me up suggestions, because I love that. And I find that to be convenient, and it's very valuable to me. There are some people that don't like that, right? There's some people that don't want that kind of noise out there for them, so they don't find it useful. So we're all every day making these trade-offs, and I think increasingly. So like to your point of where are we going, it's only going to compound from here, these kinds of choices. So really what I think is important to understand about people making these choices and being in this space is that they're probably thinking about at least two things. They're thinking about, do I trust this company to do the right thing with my data? And is it valuable to me if I do trust it, right? Because if it's not valuable, then nobody wants it. So we think what we have is very valuable. We've done all of this work, so people will trust us. So I think that thinking is what differentiates us, but I also think that, there's just going to be a lot more players in this space. And if we are all thinking about that, we're probably well served in harnessing the great power of that data.
Well said. And I certainly agree that things are accelerating. I think just the idea of AI agents helping with things, to use the example of helping you travel, if you're really going to get good advice, you want that agent to understand everything potentially, right? And there are considerations around data access and data privacy related to that. I think knowing those considerations and everybody having a very personal sort of relation to what they're willing to disclose or have used, obviously it's critical to be able to build trust with any consumer access to data, but in particular in healthcare for patients. I would think also that being able to build that trust can lead to things beyond just effective data use, right? And how can building patient trust lead to something like more personalized healthcare?
Right. I mean, we are in a very unique position to do exactly that, right? So if people opt in, if users opt in to our platform in that way in order to receive personalized messaging, then we are able to deliver really relevant um, and and reputable, and we think super high quality information that patients can use at these critical moments when they can benefit from it the most. And that's, maybe right before they talk to their provider, or
Mm.
when they're going through a specific, problem or issue in their healthcare journey. So that's how we see people using our platform and seeing value in it. And then, it just becomes a matter of what that looks like to build that trust, and to get folks to understand what we think is that, the power behind that data.
You think about a lot of the challenges in healthcare around caring for populations and some of the metrics that are frequently used to evaluate things like medication compliance, or just the fact that the way healthcare is these days, it's really incumbent upon patients to be more informed, to be advocates themselves. How does Phreesia help with that? How does opting into those things allow you to engage even before a visit?
Yeah, I mean, type of powerful data that we're sitting on is to say to
Yeah.
a person, this might be very, if you opt into this, we have this message that might be very relevant to where you are. And then that will allow you to come to your next appointment with questions or ideas, or, maybe I should be trying this potential therapy rather than the one I've been trying. So it really allows folks to have a very active role in their care, because it just exposes them to data and to potential choice for their healthcare journey, um, as they're going through it.
I really appreciate your sharing that perspective, and it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
For those listening, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews, and thank you all for taking the time.